If you would, you don't have to.
There are going to be them in our house now.
Oh, sweetheart.
You said that was going to happen.
I told you not to whistle outside.
You're not supposed to tell stories in the summertime.
There's your answer.
Yeah, I know. There's a rule.
Okay, no worries. We'll come back to you for that during the winter.
Yeah.
No, she asked, and I don't know, and I'm trying to learn, and I thought I'd ask, and I figured you knew a lot, and so come to a person who knew.
Yo, what up, Bennett?
How you doing, brother?
Yeah.
No, she can stay on. Her daughter's listening.
Yeah, that's what I brought you up because I thought you wanted me to say something.
Okay, so a lot of people don't know about the Yannies, is what we call them. We don't call them Skinwalkers.
Okay.
I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash for this, but in the Dene culture, we don't talk about those people. They're very real. And I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of who they are. A long time ago, when the U.S. cavalry came, when the white people came here on the Western Hemisphere, they started to migrate toward the western part of the Western Hemisphere. They came in wagons, they came in on foot, they came on horseback. So, where the Skinwalkers originate from is the Dene people. And a lot of people speculate, they talk about them, they wonder who these things and these entities, these people, these beings are. But I'm going to tell you, I'm throwing myself out there. If there's any Yannies listening on TikTok, and these are real people, just like your everyday bad deity, these people are up to no good. I'm not trying to scare nobody, and I don't care to scare you, because it's very real. You know when you go to church and they talk about demons? You know when they go to church and they say, oh, there's something bad out there.
We don't go to church.
Well,
I don't
okay.
take my child to that kind of torture.
Well, let's just call him the boogeyman. Men and women. The Yannies, they don't pick and choose if they're male or female. They go through their little rituals. They have fun with it. It's basically a very dark entity. But let me tell you the history before I get into this. These people, a long time ago, used to use their abilities for good when it came to the survival of the Native American people within our tribe, the Dene people, the Navajo Nation. We kind of basically used them. They use themselves as telephones. They don't change. They don't shape-shift into animals. They don't do that. What they do is they shape-shift into their abilities to travel. One way to do that is using their trails. I know where a coyote trail leads to here. I know where a deer trail leads to there. I know where the rabbits are going. I need to use these trails. The U.S. cavalry is coming. Hey, send a Yanni over there. He needs to use this trail. Boom. It was like how the crow flies, point A to point B. When a message needed to be done, that's when the Yannis came in. Boom. They were there. They knew the trails. They used the animals. That's how the Yannis and the Skinwalkers came about. That was good. It was working. We handled that. We were never conquered. We submitted because they made promises. And a lot of people will argue, but like, oh, you guys were conquered. No, the Dene people were never conquered. We were lied to. That being said, the U.S. cavalry would try to come over. They went to Chinle, Arizona. They went to all these different places and tried to exterminate us. It didn't work. They didn't know how, but this is how the Skinwalkers worked. It worked in our favor. They could never, ever figure out why We knew where they were at, exactly when they were going to be. So, the Skinwalkers, the Yannies, they basically were messengers. And a lot of people will never believe you or our story, but that's where the telephone came in. That's how communication happened. When we told this story, they're like, well, why don't we invent something that we could kind of make like that? So a lot of these inventions, a lot of people will never tell you about. Later on, through the course of years, these Yannies, these Skinwalkers, they got desperate. They weren't needed anymore. We made treaties. We made promises. They made promises, but they never kept them. So now, in human nature, what do people do? They do bad things. So they started using it on each other. So now you have the Diné people on the reservation using this black magic, or this magic. It wasn't even black. They started using it on each other. And now, today, it's still happening. You have a lot of bad people out there using good medicine against each other for bad. So yes, it's a very real thing. And a lot of people, they don't know this story. But I'm going to tell you now, it is very real. They don't just come after you, giving them a reason to be jealous and to envy you or to make your life harder. Yes, they will. But this is where it originates from. Now, if they're practicing that stuff here in the Western Hemisphere, maybe in the East Coast or maybe Texas going up to Montana, I don't know how far it extends now. But this is where it originates from the Navajo Nation, the Diné Nation. But it is a real thing. And when you do encounter these people, there's really nothing you can do because they have access to that fourth world, the other dimension that we don't have access to. We don't see it. They do. But I'm gonna tell you this: they make a lot of sacrifices to be right where they're at, and for the bad. Unfortunately, they are the bad guys. And there's a lot of good medicine out there. I can tell you, it has made a huge impact on the reservation when it comes to these things. And you guys may not realize this, but if you go to church, you can say your Hail Marys, you can do all this other stuff. But in our world, it doesn't work. It's already in depth. But that's where I just wanted to share with your daughter where the history comes from. But they are very real. They're just bad people over time that had become this way. It was really used for good when it came to war back in a long time ago when colonization happened. But that's it. I just wanted to share that. Much love, brother.
Yo, thanks, Bennett. That was a good story.
Do you have any questions? Well, then quickly ask.
Do they look like us, or are they like scary, like demons?
He left already. That's his people's thing. I've never been to Arizona ever. It's like he said, it's very real. My people's folklore to me is very real. Some people in my tribe don't think it's real. So, it's totally on you if you want to believe that or not.
I've seen too many things in my life to not believe stories like that. I went to go to give an offering to the residential school that's here in my town, and I didn't make it even a quarter of the way onto the land, and there was something in the tree line. I couldn't tell you what it was. I can just tell you it was dark and it had red eyes. I ran.
That's crazy, yo. I've seen red eyes all the time, but usually it's like my camera, it's like reflection.
No, this was about midday.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't the only one. I was the only indigenous one. But my three friends, they were with me and they saw it too. I thought it was just me. I'm not white. I am indigenous.
Well, thank you. Don't acknowledge those comments. I don't want anybody up here to have to feel like they gotta defend themselves.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. My daughter was the one that pointed it out because I like to look at who I'm talking to. And so she's the one that pointed that out. Don't worry about that, sweet pea. I have never been back. I understand that spirits that are up there are very angry, and rightfully so, for all the atrocities that were done, and they unfortunately don't know who's there to give offerings and who's not anymore. They're in pain. And so I've seen too many things in the spiritual world to not believe in these stories, and that's why I want to learn more. And that's why when my daughter asked, I thought this would be a good opportunity for her to learn something that I can't provide yet.
Yeah, well, my people, we have certain laws that we follow, and we're not supposed to tell stories in the summertime.
Yeah, I know that there are certain stories that you shouldn't tell during the summertime because it can bring bad luck.
One of the little people laws. But that's all I'm going to say on that, because every time I met, we don't even talk about it that much, but we did mention it one night, and my life was really weird after that.
Nope, completely understand. Thank you for letting him share that story. That did answer some of your questions, sort of. And I would love to join your live again during some time in the winter. When does that start? Like, does it start like seasonally? Like, because I follow a different calendar than, like, I go by planting seasons.
Probably when first snowfall.
First snowfall. Perfect. All right. First snowfall. Expect me in your live.
We have like story night too. Like I get lots of people from that really good storytellers that come to my live, and they share. I share some too, but I'll read mine out of a book that I got.
That's awesome. Is it like a book I could look into purchasing?
Definitely. Every I'm pretty sure every tribe has their folklore printed and available for people to buy on Amazon or eBay or wherever. You could even go to your tribe's cultural department, and I'm sure they got typewriter copies or something, or recordings of elders telling stories, something like that.
Yeah, right now we're just waiting for the confirmation from the Oak Lake Reserve to see if we will be accepted. My family was originally from Turtle Mountain Reserve in North Dakota, Belcourt. And then we came up to Canada to escape the persecution of the U.S. Army and the residential schools. And then in 1890, they disbanded that reservation up in Canada, and they moved everybody to Oak Lake.
Where? Wait, this is the Ojibwe?
Yes, Ojibwe or Cree, they have, because it's the Chippewa one from Turtle Mountain, and so I'm trying to figure out if I am Cree or Ojibwe. Right now I was told Cree, so that's what I'm going with until I get more information. I know it's one of the two.
Well, good luck on your journey.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for letting me include my kid. It was very wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, usually we don't let kids in the live.
I appreciate that very much. You have a great night. Thank you so much.
Yep.